I was hoping there was going to be something latest in regards to Aubameyang. There was a meeting that was meant to happen, but I'm hoping it doesn't happen straight after this video. So we'll make sure before we finish the video we check the latest. But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Obviously, we're going to cover a lot of Chelsea transfer news, but before that, there is a special in regards to Mike Dean. You guys are going to be very interested to hear this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Dean, the VAR referee for that Spurs game, controversial Spurs game, has come out and admitted that he got it wrong. Now, why has it taken so many days to realize this? I mean, wasn't it not clear on that particular day? Fair enough, you want to overlook that Kai Havertz situation. Okay, fine. You may say that he got the ball first. I don't think so. But the Marc Cucurella one, clear as daylight that his hair was pulled, and by no means ever is it right to do that. That is violent conduct. And it's taken you up until Thursday. Match was on Sunday to come out and say that you've got it wrong. Do we get our 3 points back? What happens to retrospective, vision now? Like, does anything happen to Romero? Is anything going to happen to Mike Dean? Is anything... I mean, you can't really do much about Anthony Taylor, I suppose, but Mike Dean is the one who saw that in VAR. Anthony Taylor could turn around and say, I didn't see it. That's why you've got VAR. And Mike Dean didn't do anything about it. Look, at the end of the day, they all work in a cahoots. They're all working together, and it's not... You can't sit here and say that these referees, especially Mike Dean and Anthony Taylor, that something's, not right here. You can't tell me that all these, times that they've got so many decisions wrong against Chelsea, you can't tell me that there's something, whether they're doing it purposely or whether subconsciously in their head they've got something against Chelsea, it's clear. Let's have a look at the latest news, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring this up. This is the latest that's going on. Let me just increase that a little bit. There you go. Mike Dean, in the few seconds I had to study Cristian Romero pulling Marc Cucurella's hair, I didn't deem it to be violent act. Ya Allah. He didn't deem it to be violent act. What did you deem it to be? What did you deem that scenario to be? Pulling the hair down and dragging another guy all the way to the floor. What did you deem it to be on that time? I really want to hear from Mike Dean, what was the thought process at that time? I've since studied the footage, like as if this was some sort of like a bachelor's degree, a thesis that he studied. Every dog and cat out there can see what was wrong. You don't need to study anything. It was clear as daylight. And I should have had asked Taylor to visit his pitch side mirror. It's just mad. I can't believe it. This is what others are saying. Martin Ziegler. So new full-time VAR Mike Dean is being paid a fee to admit he made a mistake with Cucurella hair pull. But the Premier League, I think something professional something match of the, let me have a look. What does it stand for? PGM or something professional game match officials board. There you go. Did not accept there had been any mistake when asked about it on Monday. Yeah, because they came out on Monday saying that there's no mistake here. It was right. And now on Thursday, Mike Dean himself has admitted that there's mistake. It's a proper farce, an absolute farce. I'm not going to click on this particular footage, but this footage, if you guys remember, I said it on my review. There was an incident last season where Timo Werner scored against Southampton, and we literally went back nearly 2 minutes to find something in regards to Azpilicueta, just slight touch, I think, and they deemed it as a free kick and a reset from that position. This is what it's saying over here. Southampton couldn't reset. Dermot Gallagher is surprised that surprised the officials went back that far to check VAR, but explains why Timo Werner's goal for Chelsea against Southampton was disallowed. This is what a particular Chelsea fan is saying. Were Chelsea allowed to reset on Sunday? Most ironic thing is that Mike Dean was on VAR for both scenarios. Corruption. Mike Dean was on VAR for that scenario against Timo Werner, where we went back 2 minutes, and he was on the case this time as well. Look, it's clear as daylight. Something's going wrong. Something's going on as well, and these guys won't admit it, but there's far too many evidence against them now to say that their eyes light up when they see the Chelsea fixture, and they can't wait to screw Chelsea ASAP. Mike Dean on Kane's goal. I asked referee Anthony Taylor to wait while I looked at the incident involving Romero and Cucurella. I couldn't award a free kick as VAR, but I could recommend to Taylor that he visit the referee review area to consider a possible red card. He further goes on to say, in the few seconds I had to study Romero pulling Cucurella's hair, I didn't deem it to be a violent act. I've since studied the footage, spoken to other referees, and upon reflection, I should have asked Taylor to visit his pitch side monitor to take a look at himself. The referee on field always has the final say. It goes to show that no matter how experienced you are, and I've spent more than 2 decades as a Premier League official, you're always learning. You're always learning. By now, you should have been a professor, because you should have had enough scenarios to learn, because you've screwed us many a time, both you and Anthony Taylor. My thing is, what happens now? Romero's walking free. Tuchel got the red card. Does that get rescinded? Does Thomas Tuchel, everything that he said post-match, can that be excused? Now that you've come out and admitted that you got it wrong. So Tuchel was right in what he said. Those decisions were wrong. You can turn around and say, oh, but Tuchel said that, there's a bias against Chelsea. Well, man can't have his opinions these days. That's his opinion. The journalists were asking him these questions. It's just, look, I can't believe this guy. All he has to say is, sorry, I made a mistake, and things move on. It's just mad. Ladies and gentlemen, you let me know how you feel about the whole situation. Insane. For me, it's insane. Brendan Rodgers says he will take Fofana out of the squad this weekend if he isn't in the right mindset, but there's been no further bids from Chelsea. Look, I don't know what Chelsea's waiting for, if I'm being absolutely honest about this situation. Fofana's head is not at Leicester. From what Brendan Rodgers is saying as well, it seems like even Leicester are anticipating a bid to come through, and Fofana himself, anticipating that scenario to come through from Chelsea. Let's make it happen. Let's not waste too much time anymore. This player is frustrated. If he's forced to play one more game for Leicester, God forbid, if something happens, an injury, let's finalize it. Let's get it done. Let's not waste time. I think even Leicester are now at a point where we're like, come and get your man. This guy wants to leave Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea want to push ahead with Aubameyang as a stopgap signing before next summer, with Nkunku and Leao admired at Stamford Bridge. Wesley Fofana's basic salary would be, I love this, basic salary would be 230k a week. If a fee can be struck between Chelsea and Leicester, discussions over Gordon will continue next week over the phone, as Todd Bowley will be away from England. There's nothing basic about 230k. I'm starting to think this whole transfer of Wesley Fofana, before we get to the other news in regards to Leao and Nkunku, nearly 80 million in transfer fee, 230k a week for a 21-year-old who's had one really good season in the Premier League, and then the other one, it was complete write-off because of an injury. I don't know what we're doing. I like the player. I think he's going to be a superstar. But we're literally bending over backwards for this particular defender, who, honestly, wasn't even a particular defender that we were going for earlier on in the transfer window. We were looking at De Ligt, we were looking at Kimpembe, we were looking at Nathan Ake as well at a point. So, look, I'm happy to get the player, but some of these numbers are insane. In regards to Aubameyang being a stopgap, I always knew it was going to be a stopgap. He's 33. He ain't going to be signing a 5-year contract. He's not your 25-year-old up-and-coming superstar. Aubameyang was always going to be a stopgap. So I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a 2-year contract. There is meant to be a meeting today, which hopefully has already finished, and hopefully there's a positive solution out of that meeting. And I hope that there is personal terms agreed by now with Aubameyang. But I don't expect anything to be more than 2 years for Aubameyang. Maybe an option of adding a further year, but I think after 2 years, Aubameyang will leave as well. He'll probably go and find different pastures in MLS or maybe in the Middle East or wherever, just to make a final payday. But I'm all down for Nkunku and Leao. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether they come or not, I don't know. There'll be several teams after them. Nkunku, there could be something going on. I honestly think there could be something going on. With Timo Werner going to Leipzig, I think we might have set that relationship for Nkunku, knowing his release clause is coming up. And Top Bowley, he's planting these seeds, talking to all of these agents and executives from different clubs, trying to build a repo. So hopefully there is something going on with Nkunku. Nkunku is a top player. But if we don't get Nkunku and we get someone like Rafael Leao, again, once again, this season kicked off amazingly. Everyone in Milan, that's all they talk about. Rafael Leao, he's a supreme talent. As a winger, wide winger, pace, power, physicality, the kid's got it all. So look, we definitely have to keep ourselves open for one of those players. We need to land one of those players or any other young superstars that's coming along. With so many of our players that are leaving, I'm sure there's going to be space to do the damage. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, between Nkunku and Leao, who would you prefer? Next up, Chelsea remain confident on landing Frenkie De Jong. This is Tom Reddy. Look, I've not been reporting or talking about Frenkie De Jong recently on my channels because, first, I'm over this scenario. This is another one of those things with Barcelona, and Barcelona has taken the piss on us, to be honest, this transfer window. I don't want to go for another ride. Rafinha, Dembele, Jules Koundé. Now, Frenkie De Jong, Alonso, please, can you go to Barcelona ASAP? Frenkie De Jong seems like he wants to stay at Barcelona. I mean, if this was meant to happen, it should have happened already because we've already agreed a fee with Barcelona, and we've also said to Frenkie De Jong, we'll pay your deferred wages. So I don't know what else he's waiting for. I really don't know. There is literally no other things that he needs to wait for. There's no doubt he would start for us as well. And there's massive uncertainty that he's actually going to start for Barcelona. So you're getting disrespected from Barcelona as well. This is, for me, I've got no other things to say. For me, it's now a no-brainer for him to move. But for some obscene reason, he still wants to stick around. So I don't want to add any more to it. Besides the fact, if it happens, I will lose my mind. I will not just sing. I will literally go crazy because he changes our midfield massively. He gives us something in midfield that will transform us. But if he doesn't come, I've already accepted the fact that he's probably not going to come. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next up, Chelsea are optimistic that a deal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang can be reached. Chelsea hope that Aubameyang will be part of a late flurry of signings that would include Wesley Fofana, Anthony Gordon, and Frenkie De Jong. This is from Tom Reddy as well. As I said, there's a meeting with Aubameyang. I think the Aubameyang deal will most likely happen, ladies and gentlemen. There's a fee that should be agreed with Barcelona, and it's just all up to terms and personal terms. Aubameyang was promised he was going to get a bit of a bumper wage in the second year for Barcelona. He took a wage cut to come to Barcelona. Everyone in Barcelona at the moment taking a pay cut. He ain't getting no wage increase. I mean, once again, Barcelona told him fibs, told him lies, sold him a dream. It ain't happening. So, look, I fully expect him to join at Chelsea. It should be for a short term, but I think he's going to get paid well. So just bear that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Aubameyang ain't coming to Chelsea for 100k or 150k. You're looking at minimum 200k, maybe about 250k. That's what I'm thinking. Because, or else, there's no reason. There's no reason for him to come and do his grafting in Chelsea. So, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because you expect goals. You expect him to adapt to the league right away because, it was less than a year ago he was still playing in the Premier League and he's killed it in the Premier League. So the expectations will be high for Aubameyang from the get-go. Chelsea are still in talks with Everton over Anthony Gordon, with discussions set to continue over the phone early next week, with club chairman Todd Bowley scheduled to be away from England. Look, fully expect this guy to happen as well. Late, maybe on transfer deadline, whatever the case is. Everton's probably going to get some of our players in terms of Batshuayi, maybe even Billy Gilmore. There could be a shot for Ross Barkley. Look, take them. I wouldn't want to sell Billy Gilmore, but it looks like he doesn't want any more loans. Billy Gilmore wants a permanent transfer as well. And if that's the case, if we can get about 15 million, close to 20 for Billy Gilmore, why not? There's players from Wolves. You guys are going to get mad. I just want to quickly share this with you. I think Fabrizio, because Wolves got Matthias Nunez, and they sold this other guy. Let me see if we can find this. Yeah, look at this, guys. Nottingham Forest are closing in on Morgan Gibbs-White deal. Morgan Gibbs-White, I know he's a good player. I've seen a few of his matches last season. It's saying 35 million. That's not what it is. It's apparently 44. If Morgan Gibbs-White, who's not really done anything in the Premier League, let's be honest, it's going to go for 44 million, close to. There's no doubt Billy Gilmore should be at least half that. Ross Barkley, Michy Batshuayi, get for both of them together, further 20 million together as a combination. So why not try and bring down that Anthony Gordon price down as much as we can and give them some of our players? Okay, we're going to end with this particular news, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea open to Trevoh Chalobah. This is coming from Orny. Orny has spoken, and when Orny speaks, you've got to take it seriously. Chelsea open to Trevoh Chalobah loan before deadline. CFC respect wish for game time, but won't allow buy option or obligation, which is good. And I'll tell you why it's good. Particular interest from Premier League and also Serie A sides in European comp. Important to 23-year-old if he moves abroad. Look, I would like him to go to Serie A. I think much like Tomori, he'll probably do well over there and learn his defending craft over there. Find yourself like a Champions League team that you can go to. I love the fact that it's a buy. There is no buy option or obligation, because I believe in this defender, man. Honestly, this guy, there's some parts of the fan base seem to have a bit of hate on him because he was a bit iffy at times last season, but he's a young defender, man. I mean, I want to look away from some of those mistakes and look at what he actually brought in a few of the times last season. There were some really good matches against Brentford. I remember when we were getting hammered, it was him who was defending well. Villarreal in the Super Cup, it was him that defended probably the best out of the lot. And there's been many other games where he scored as well and defended well. Even that Liverpool game in the Carabao Cup, yes, Luis Diaz took him to the cleaners, but he still hung on. He hung on. And I think as the match went on, he did well. So look, I don't want to lose hope. I don't know why his stocks have gone down. I thought maybe still this season he could have been part of the rotation. This is why I wanted Azpilicueta to move on to Barcelona. But it is what it is. He's still here. I still don't think Azpi is going to see that many minutes. I'd be very surprised if he sees a lot more minutes. And when Wesley Fofana comes in, I don't think, it will happen. And the fact that Reece James plays in right CB at times now, it's going to be very difficult for Azpilicueta. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about everything we talked about, especially Mike Dean. I really want to hear about your thoughts on Mike Dean. Great, you've admitted, but what's going to happen now? Are we going to get the 3 points? Is there going to be any retrospective on Romero? Is Thomas Tuchel going to have the red card rescinded? Is Mike Dean going to get suspended? Too many questions. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time. See ya.